Hey everybody, Justin Worden, and you're watching What's New in Electronics. I am here with Tom Forsythe of Kyzen. Tom, how are you?
Good to see you, Justin.
Now, Tom, you and I have done this a few times.
We have.
But this is the first time we've done it in Mexico.
It's because you're new to Mexico.
I am new to Mexico, and also What's New in Electronics is new to Mexico. This is the first time broadcasting from SMTA Guadalajara.
Yeah, well, we're glad to welcome you to the party. You know, as you might expect, it's been a pretty good party for a while, and this year, as I understand it, the exhibitor space is up, the pre-registration list is up, the halls are full of people. We're glad we're here. You guys glad you're here?
Absolutely. I mean, Guadalajara has just kind of became that hotbed over the last maybe decade where a lot of the global companies, the big global manufacturers, have moved some high-volume manufacturing right here into the backyard where we're sitting.
Well, there's a long history of electronics down here. In fact, whenever you make a trip and you haven't been someplace for a little while, I remember making trips down here to visit Motorola back in the 90s. Okay, they were here, and because there was a talented workforce, a great education system, that was the beginning of people realizing the potential fit for electronics and Guadalajara.
Yeah, and Mexico as a country has done a tremendous job investing back into the country to increase education and make it so more companies on a global scale want to come here.
Right, and the other thing is that you take that talented workforce that's trained, nice, hardworking people, and you couple it with geographic proximity to the biggest market in the world. Okay, well, that sure looks like an opportunity, for success, right? I mean, there's rainy days even in San Diego, but that's a good long run strategy.
Well, speaking of rainy days, the market's not where we want it to be. The industry as a whole, regardless of what market you're in, is taking a little bit of a downturn. However, I don't know if Guadalajara got the message because there are people everywhere.
Well, and that's kind of the thing here, right? And I believe that's the long-term thinking of our industry. In that, coming out of COVID, there were a lot of growth curves that looked very attractive. That in the long run might have been a bit optimistic for an extended go. Okay, that inevitably winds up with the industry rebalancing things. That's normal. Little boom and bust ish sort of cycles, and that's kind of what's going on. But I think that as I talk to people, but I think what we're seeing here at the show with the folks that are in the aisles, the exhibitors, all the equipment that's here. People aren't here with video screens showing stuff. There's a lot of iron here in the building. That's recognizing that Mexico in general and Guadalajara in particular are poised for a very long-term, long-run success story with electronics manufacturing.
Not only is it the equipment, there's a very large international presence here.
Oh, sure.
More than just people like you and I coming down from the States.
There's plenty of people from East Asia here. Okay, there's people from Europe here. There's brands that, while they're global brands, their headquarters are they're not on the North American continent. And but I think that's recognizing that strategically the chances of success in Guadalajara in general and Mexico, more broadly, is very high over the next 5 to 10 years.
Well, they'll fire me if I don't actually talk about Kyzen a little bit. So let's bring it back. I mean, Kyzen has always been on the forefront. I mean, you guys are always been a good predictor of what's going on in the industry. And recently not recently, actually forever, but you really made that investment into the quality control, the process control side of things. So let's hear more about that.
Absolutely. We were one of the ones that, as long as we've been doing this, back in the old days, it was all solvent cleaning, believe it or not. And when we led the world really in shifting toward water-based stuff, well, the first thing you had to learn was, the solvents had a lot wrong with it, but control was not one of them. Control is really easy when you're dealing with solvents. So that was a new challenge that people weren't accustomed to. They didn't have a lot of expertise in it, they didn't have a lot of practice at it, and they didn't have a lot of tools. So what we said is, all right, well, we need some tools. Let's invent some tools. So we've been selling control systems of very high sophistication to moderate sophistication for, more than 25 years, maybe 30 by now. And that delivers great value to the user, particularly in these times when everybody's a little uncomfortable, because now you want to get every ounce of value you can out of everything. Not only do you want to get the throughput through your machine so you don't have to buy another one, but you want to get every ounce of, in my case, cleaning materials. How can I get any penny of value out of that? Well, I do that by using it at the proper concentration, at the proper temperature, controlling it, documenting it, knowing that you're doing it correctly, because then you're not going to have the unfortunate consequences appear that are very predictable when you don't pay attention to concentration and temperature and these kinds of things, right? So it's making the operation better, more effective, more economical. And while that's important every day, it's really important when we're all back on our heels in a little bit, trying to make sure, all right, things will be better tomorrow, but let's make sure we get to tomorrow. Well, that operational efficiency is what helps you get to tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, we're just in that situation where increasing profits is not necessarily going to be done by generating more revenue.
Right.
So how can we bring the bottom line down?
How do we improve our efficiency? How do we do what we do a little better? Okay, it's not about doing more with less. It's about doing more with what we have.
Well, another benefit of having that process control and putting those systems in place, even though it may be an investment up front for that company, there's another issue that we're having in the industry with the amount of employees that are moving so quickly from one job to another. So training and keeping people up to date with your SOPs and your processes and systems is very difficult.
Well, that's a real challenge, and that one of the other things that we've done at Kyzen is we've invested in an in-house software team. So we write our own software. And we do it with the customer in mind. We're not trying to optimize, somebody in some other industry or anything. It's like, what are those operators? How do we make it as simple as possible, as intuitive as possible? How do we make it feel like a phone app that everyone seems to be able to operate at the age of 3, without a lot of training, right?
Yep.
So if we take that philosophy and say we want to make this intuitive to use, we want to deliver the key data that people need in a immediate basis. But we also want easily retrievable data from, okay, you had some build that you did 3 months ago, and now there's a customer inquiry about that lot. Well, you want to be able to touch that data in seconds. You don't want to go diving through files looking for stuff that. So there's that two pieces of the equation: really ease of operation and long-term value that we shoot for. That's the goal. That's not that'll be nice, but we got to control it first. No, they're on par. So it's key performance that the tools do what they're supposed to do day in and day out, very reliably, and the ease of operation is at a very high level, shooting for that phone app level. It's just that easy where you don't really get trained, you just get exposed to it. Like somebody shows you how to use an app, it's like, oh, I know how to do this. It's that kind of thing. That's been our philosophy. Great products that do the job, that are easy to run, because particularly in dynamic environments, Guadalajara is certainly a dynamic environment, where as you point out, staff migrates. Mm-hmm. Well, you want those new people to come up to speed right away. You don't want to have things go wrong on Monday because, there's all these things to do on Monday.
Tom, you keep talking software, technology, process control. People are going to think Kyzen's more than just a soap and water company.
Well, we are. I mean, we make cleaning products. That's what we do. But these other things are really key parts of the value proposition. And, just like our tech support group, we have a tremendous tech support staff around the world that is the envy of many. And why is that? Well, when customers are in trouble, when they have problems, they can't wait till next week. They need answers rapidly. That's why that tech support team is scattered around the world, to be close to customers so they can respond, because that's how it works. The customers use our stuff every day. It's got to work every day. They need data to support their decisions every day. And when it rains, they need somebody to run in with an umbrella, okay? And say, all right, let's sort this out. Let's find out what went wrong, correct it rapidly, and move on and get back to everything just looking. But that's that whole value proposition. Kyzen's name comes from the Japanese concept of continuous improvement. Okay, we take that internally. That's why we're constantly improving our products, working on new versions of products for different applications and things. We're working on new control technology, new software. Okay, how do we do this better? But we're also helping our customers improve, because if they have a bulletproof process that never gives them any trouble, guess what? They have the most economical process they can have. So whatever we can do to contribute to their bottom line, that's what we're doing. And we focus on that because as a consumable fellow, we have to earn that next purchase order every week or every month or however often it is. The customer has a choice at each time, and we need to earn that business, and that's how we do it.
All right, Tom, for those watching that haven't heard of Kyzen or are for the first time, how do they get a hold of you?
Oh, we're easy to find. Kyzen.com, and or just put in cleaning electronics. We're hard to avoid, frankly. And if you're coming here to Guadalajara, we're right inside the front door behind our water display that we bring around the world. So we're easy to find. Kyzen.com.
No shortage of water at Kyzen.
No shortage of water at Kyzen.
Tom, thank you very much.
Thank you.